Hello there, this is Vanessa Ho again. In this last video of my 5-video series, I would like to share with you another 5 reasons why mature Vietnamese women in Vietnam would like to be with Western men. By mature, I mean woman who was born right before, and within a few years after Vietnam War, since it's a crucial event in the country's history.
But first, how would you like an ongoing supply of free reports, helpful resources and unique cultural insights for meeting, dating and marrying a Vietnamese woman? Too easy. Just take a quick moment to subscribe and click the bell icon, and you'll never miss out again.
The reasons that I'm about to share with you are based on my own experiences and all the mature Vietnamese women that I have had a chance to be friends with or interact with them. But before I go on into details, I would like to emphasize to you that the most important factors are your sincerity and for who you are. A gentleman is always a gentleman no matter where he comes from. Agree? Number 14, independent, not a mama's boy. What do I mean by that? Many Vietnamese men would stay with his family and his parents even after they got married. They are used to weighing their parents, especially their mom's opinions, heavily. And many times their relationship or marriage can be damaged or affected quite much by their parents and their mom's opinion. On the other hand, the majority of Western men would move out their parents' house by the age of 18. Therefore, Western men tend to learn how to make their own decisions and not rely on their parents as much. By saying that, I don't mean that every Vietnamese man or every Western man would all be like that. Once you are a mama's boy, you are always a mama's boy. Number 15, admit that they are wrong. As I mentioned, Vietnamese culture is male-oriented. So even if a Vietnamese man knows he's wrong or has made a mistake, he rarely admits it. In Vietnamese language, we do have a phrase for I'm sorry, but a Vietnamese man rarely uses it to say that to his woman. Using this phrase to them can be perceived as being weak and can lead to be ridiculed by his male friends. As you can imagine, this can damage the relationships because of the unwillingness to face this situation and admit that they are wrong or they make a mistake, which also communicates that a woman is not an equal. And for that reason, over time, of course, it can build up resentment and damage the relationship. Number 16, more willing to support her ambition. In Vietnam, a woman who reaches her 30s or 40s, and especially if she had children, is generally viewed that she should put her ambition and goals to the backseat so she can put all her effort and attention to her man and her family. Thus, any discussion that she would go back to school or focus on her career or even started a new career is almost non-existent. Yes, you heard me right. This situation is mainly because the society is still male-dominated, and in many cases, a Vietnamese man also doesn't like his woman to be more successful than him. And I am a living proof. Until recently, I have to say, right now I live in the US, and when I get together with a big group of friends who most of them are, I have to say all of them are older than me, and when we sit down and have a talk and while we're eating, right, and most of the time they would come up to me and say, "Hi Vanessa, so how are you doing? What are you up to? Are you married yet?" And then I say, I'm doing fine, I'm in a relationship, and I'm launching a new business, I'm thinking about doing this and doing that, and because of the world is changing, everything changing, so I need to upgrade my business, upgrade myself, updated myself, taking classes, taking seminars, and thinking of a new way of running my business, or probably changing my business into a different one, etc. And most of the times they would tell me, "Oh my God, why? You at this age, you should be settled down, you should be married, you should, have kids or adopt kids, and you should just like stay home and do your normal thing, or you should just do the Monday to Fridays job instead of why you working Saturday, why you working Sunday, and why every time we see you, you always feel like you are up to something new, and as you as a woman, then you don't need to work that hard. Let the men do the thing, and take care of you, etc." Yes, so it's to the point that sometimes or many times I have to kind of turn down the interpretation, because I got stressed out when they started asking me questions like that. And then of course, if you start like saying some stuff like you really ambitious, then you tend to intimidate it. The men feel intimidated at first, but then after a while they get to know you, they would like, why you working too much? Why you always want to try new things? Why you always on the go? And as I'm sharing with you, these are the questions in the comments coming from the Vietnamese men who have already lived here in the US for at least 20, 25 years, 30s, and even the ones that live here in the US for 40 years, 40 plus years. So you can see how much influence the male-dominated society and culture that we still in, even though we live here in the US for such a long time, for that many years. Okay, a Western man or a Vietnamese man or any man, Asian man, but they are more westernized already. They are more likely to support their ladies' ambition like goals. In fact, he often even encourages her to pursue her dreams, because he knows that denying what you want often ends up leading to unhappiness. And I myself just share with you my story, and I have someone now that he always encourages me to learn new knowledge, to take seminars, to take new classes, to try on new startup, new business, and encourage me to do Facebook Live, to do YouTube video, even though I'm such a super introverted person. To be able to sit in front of the camera, to speak, to talk, and to be comfortable like this, I have to say, I have to thank him a lot for pushing me, but then you can do it, right? I can do it. And then he even, encouraged me to write more English, to speak more English, taking English class, even though I can read I can read English fluently in a way, but because of my pronunciation, because I got used to live and spend most of my time with the Vietnamese people and the community of Vietnamese. Therefore, in order for me to really speak up, do the working on the video and speaking like 100% in English is pretty challenging. But at the end, I reached my goal. Then I'm so happy about it, and I'm so thankful that he has encouraged just me to be the best of me. So that's really a plus. That's a blessing for me. Okay, and are you ready? Going on the next one. Most Vietnamese men admire well-dressed woman, as long as it's not his lady. Yes, you heard me right. If a Vietnamese woman feels like she wants to dress up just because she wants to feel confidence or she wants to feel good about herself, she often have to explain to her man that she has no hidden motive. Yes, she has to do that. And then of course, after a while, she would get tired and she would resign to not dressing up because of the continual explaining that she has to do. Just imagine that. I have seen many very attractive women in Vietnam in a relationship who go out in public and dress up in their very casual clothes. What do I mean by very casual clothes? It means that it's just a little nicer than pajamas. Yes, believe it or not. At first, especially when I was young, I saw my mom. She always dressed up really simple. She always had this traditional Southern Vietnamese woman outfit, which we call áo bà ba, quần đen, which means the black pants, and this traditional Southern Vietnamese top. Really simple, and they even wear that to go to the field, to do rice field and do farming stuff. Yes. Because the funny part is that my mom, at her time, she graduated with a bachelor degree, and I heard her friends and even my dad told me that in order for a female in her generation at that time to go to college is already something very extraordinary already. And for someone like her graduated from that school, which was mainly men, graduated, really rare that any female student would get in there and graduate it, but she did it. And as soon as she graduated, she got a really great career. She managed, I think, over 20 people under her, and most likely like 90% of them were men, believe it or not. And then she, after my dad got a little more successful with his business, then she withdrew back. She would stay home and dress up really simple, like I just described to you. And all she did was just went to get some grocery every day, because we have we tend to have fresh food every day in Vietnam. Taking care of us three, look after us at school, take care of the houseworks and all that, and even take care of my dad when he got home late at night, So just like that. So I think part of it also because of the culture that I shared with you earlier, male-oriented still. And for someone like my mom, who was successful and high educated, that would willing to stay back and give up on everything else except her families and her kids. Yeah. So because of that, when I grew up, I thought that my mom didn't dress up because they don't care. She didn't care about her appearances. together with a lot of Vietnamese women in Vietnam around my age as well. But then in reality, it's because my dad didn't do this to my mom, but I'm just giving you an example, of the culture pressure and as well as the society. So, and then most likely I will see people who's older than me. They didn't dress up at the time when I was still in my country in Vietnam. If you go on the street, you didn't see like many women dressing up at all. And now, lately, as time went by, I realized that just because they just don't want to deal with the hassle that they have to continue to explain to their spouse why they're dressing up. When they dress up, they most likely you would hear that the man would ask like, "Where are you going? Why you dress up so nice today?" Etc. It's just like something really strange, But like I said, majority, most of them, not all of them. Okay. So, but then on the other hand, a Western man is far less likely to be as dominating or controlling about how his lady dresses. And in many cases, he would buy nice clothes, flattering outfits for his ladies, since he knows that dressing up for many women is a way of build up her confidence and feel good about themselves. And I have to say once again, I'm pretty lucky on that sense, because I can recall that other guys that I met or have interacted with, they all like me to look nice. So they actually the one that encouraged me to dress up. So because I was growing up as a tomboy and no makeup, and I hang out with a lot of guy friends. I have like best friend who are male best friend, So I can complain, but I feel I can feel it, and I feel so sorry for many Vietnamese women around my age, about my generation, and the generation a little older than me, for what they had to deal with. A lot of them still have to over there. Okay, here comes the last one. Are you ready? Number 18. Less judgmental about her ancestry. This may come to a surprise for you, but a Vietnamese man will pass on amazing lady because he and or his parents don't think her ancestry is good enough. In other words, she can be educated and has a career, but if her ancestry are not as fortunate as they expected due to the economic reasons, he would probably pass on marrying her, or he will use that to belittle her. Yes, sadly. So in other words, she be judged for something that happened way before she was born, something that she cannot change. And as you can imagine, this is completely unfair to the woman. And unfortunately, it happens to me. Even though my parents and my grandparents are highly educated, but my ex-mom, she didn't even take time to learn about my family and my ancestry. As soon as she heard that, I came back from the US, I came back to Vietnam from the US to visit my grandparents, she met me at a dinner, and she was like, "So, where are your grandparents?" And I say, "Oh yeah, they live in the southern, in the countryside." And she secretly told my ex that, since her grandparents lived in the countryside, which means that she didn't come from a good family. She didn't come to the educated family. So you have to think about it. I don't think that she's a fit for you. Yes. And not just me though. It happens. I've seen it many times with people I know. So, to summarize of all my sharing during the last few videos, I just want to share with you the hearty sharing, I have to say. When you meet a mature Vietnamese woman, be aware of this. And please understand that she may not be as open initially for this, and for other reasons that I've shared with you. So be patient, and as I mentioned on each of my videos in this series, that be a gentleman, show your sincerity, be who you are, be understanding. And then of course, because of the language barrier, so that you need to be really gentle on her and take time and be understanding. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's all I want to share with you for today. And then also this video also end the series of my sharing of all the reasons that I've experienced myself personally, and from all the mature women as my friends and the mature Vietnamese women that I've been interacted with. So I'm sharing this from my heart, and once again, that's one of the reasons why I'm really have a strong feeling and strong motivation to share with my audience, with you, all of these topics, just because I've been there, done that, and I want whatever the best out there for all of the mature Vietnamese women who were born and raised in Vietnam right after Vietnam War, right before Vietnam War. We've been through a lot, and we call ourselves the sandwich generation. What we mean by that is that we are the one that's stuck in the middle between two slices of bread. We got stuck by the old culture, the old and then of course a lot of them is unreasonable pressure society. And we now in Vietnam, the society also has changed quite a bit since I left. But then also for the mature Vietnamese woman like me, we moved here, even though we live here 20 plus years, 30 years, we still got stuck in between, because we still have our parents who follow the old traditions. So we're open-minded to the new culture, but then we also got stuck with the old culture, and we don't know, most of the time we have to select and filter the information in order to move on and have a happy life, and comfortable life. And if I've been back to Vietnam recently, I've seen that in Vietnam there's still a lot unfair things going on and happen to the mature Vietnamese woman generation. So that's the reason why I feel really strong. I'm strongly sharing with you regarding this topic, and I want to help them to have a better, a happier life with a lot more confidence. then because of that, this can also affect if they have children. They give their children the better environment, the better lifestyle, a better thoughts than what we have been going through. Okay, so let's just end the videos here. I know this one is a little long, but once again, this is Vanessa Hall, and thanks so much for your time. Thanks for watching my videos, and thanks for all your questions and comments and thoughts. So once again, please feel free to share with me your thoughts, your comments, because there's maybe something that I miss out. You're more than welcome to put it down in the comment section below. I would love to respond to them as much as I can with the best knowledge that I have had throughout all these years, and as a mature Vietnamese woman myself. Okay, and have a great day, have a great evening, and looking forward to seeing you in my next videos that I'm gonna keep sharing and let me know what can I help. Okay, and thanks once again. See you next time. Bye bye.